he crispy. Oh, he crispy. Oh, quit playing. Hold on. Look to the left. Look to the right. Quit playing. Oh, 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 quit playing with it. Oh, no. Oh, Jerome, stop. Stop. Quit playing. Oh, sheesh. Sheesh. I'm about to have to get my. Okay, go ahead. Do your thing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing. Dang, Jerome, I didn't know he was going to be this fresh. I didn't wash my face before I got up on you.
Bro, you said look to the left, look to the right.
I had to see the profiles. This things is congruent. They congruent. Oh man, they looking good, bro. I'm about to get on your level. I was just thinking about getting my hair braided.
Oh man, bro. I'm trying to, I'm trying to get with it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. You
I couldn't help it, bro. You shocked me, bro. I didn't know you was going. You know the fresh braids too. Them is fresh. Them ain't nothing. Them is less than 24 hours old. I can already see.
He said they fresh like a cold press. You know.
Yeah, they fresh like a cold press. Them things just got pressed up. I can still see your scalp. That's how I know they fresh. I'm like, ooh, you can see that scalp. Ooh, them is fresh off the press.
Yo, it's the glasses for me. You know, I had to hit the block with intelligence.
Jerome, you hitting them from so many angles right now. They don't even know what to do.
Man. Yo, you have me cracking up on that reel, bro. You know you be keeping it real with these reels. You know.
Oh, bro, thank you. You know, I'm just finding my way. I'm finding my ninja way with these reels. These reels is going crazy.
The hitting the block.
Yo, one of them hit 29,000 views. I was like, whoa.
The message is reaching the people, man. The word is getting out. You know.
We having fun with it. A little edutainment.
Yeah. For sure. You know, and I feel it.
They in the comments. See, they in the comments. Boy, I told you out here fresh. They said Jerome looking good. They said greetings. Jerome looking good. Sunrise as well. I'll stop it, y'all. I know I look good, but I'm out here. I just got done working. You feel me? It's like I've been on the railroads working, going crazy.
Oh man,
it's been like another Vipassana, bro.
For real. Hey, talk about it. You know, how has it correlated with what we did? You know, what we came from.
So you know how Vipassana was basically like boot camp, right? It was like a meditation boot camp, and we had to grow through a lot that we usually don't grow through on the average day. And after I left Vipassana and I left you guys from the airport, I went to Atlanta, and then shortly after I ended up running into my pops at Atlanta at my uncle's house. I didn't even know he was gonna be there. He didn't even know I was there. He still thought I was in a meditation retreat. And so I ended up coming back up to West Virginia with him, like kind of quick. And so since then, I've just been doing some work for him. He has properties. He over here playing Monopoly on our block. And so I've been doing work for him. And, you know, I don't really usually do physical labor. And like as far as like construction and renovation. And yeah, boy, I've been hitting the hammer and nails. I like every day. I'm like, bruh, straight physical labor. But I've enjoyed it because I've learned a lot, and I've been you know, kicking it with my dad a lot and talking and all of this and getting a little extra money in my pocket while doing it. But it's just like, as I'm hammering away, I'm pulling down things, I'm building up things, we building walls and ceilings and all this. I'm like realizing the training is kicking in. I'm like equanimous, you know, where usually I would be internally throwing a temper tantrum. Like, I don't want to do none of this. But I'm like, you know what? This is all good. This is a great moment. I'm not attached. I'm not going to react anyway emotionally. And I feel good kicking it with my pop. So it's just been like another boot camp, like because I've been doing it every day just to like get as much. He does it all himself, so I like to help him out as much as I can when I'm here. And so it's just been like the Vipassana training has been kicking in a lot. You know, there was one point we underneath the house putting insulation underneath the boards is like right here. We're like army crawling with our scapulas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this too shall pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good though. I've been enjoying it.
Man. So you said your pop's been playing Monopoly on the block. Playing Monopoly.
He been playing Monopoly. I'm like, they might as well rename this street art. This might as well just be our street, man, because we own about 40% of this whole block right here.
Man. So what was one of the lessons that you found to be like the most blessing?
So my dad's a straight up blue collar worker type dude his whole life. And I guess the main lesson that I always get when I'm here, but just really been sitting deep in my head, is like, you can do a lot more than you think. And even when you don't think you can, or even when you don't actually know, you can figure it out. Because what surprised me this time was, I've always thought, my dad had been knew all of this stuff, and because he's worked as an electrician and all of this, so I'm like, he's had this information for years. He knows how to do all this. But certain days where we would start, we've been doing straight 9 to 5, you feel me? And certain days when we would start, he would be like, hey, get on YouTube and look up how to do this. And I would be like, okay, I get he wants me to learn. But then he told me, like, yeah, a lot of this stuff I didn't know how to do. A lot of this stuff that I'm doing, I just look it up and I do it. And I was like, oh, I thought you always knew how to do this. Like, the way you give direction and the way you talk about it, I thought you knew. He's like, nah, I just get on my phone, look it up, go do it, look at like 2 or 3 videos, then I go do it. And I'm like, okay, that's different. Because a lot of us, we feel like we don't know how, we need help or something or whatever, but we have the tools at hand. So the main thing is, like, I've been learning is you can do a lot more than you think you can. And if you don't know how to, go figure it out. Simple. And you got the resources. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's a great lesson, to understand your power to, like they say, look it up. Google is free, YouTube is free. It's like you have the resources and you have the resourcefulness, Yeah.
Right. I mean, check me out, man. Look at my hoodie, man. We got paint on there. I've been putting in work. The one thing that I learned too, them blue collar jobs get your muscles right. I've been looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh, okay. The muscles is getting bigger, boy.
And we building. It's like you always say at the end of like our conversations, whenever we have a conscious conversation, you be like, yo, that was a great build, right? We building. Let's keep.
We building. Yeah, we really building. Now, but out here, I'm like, oh, we really building. My dad would be like, yeah, we about to go under that house again, and then we about to fix the roof. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, all right.
Oh man, so that's why you've been putting on these notes, because they just released this new note thing that we see in the DMs. Instagram done slid up in the DMs with everybody else.
With everybody, I'm like, oh, everybody can slide in the DMs now, huh?
And you put remain equanimous. You're reminding people remain equanimous.
Yeah, I've had to remind myself that a lot while I'm here, because sometimes, like I said, I usually don't do this type of work consistently for weeks on end. And also, I'm in an environment where there's the only people that think like me is on the internet. You know what I mean? Everybody else is living a completely different life than, the way we live. And so sometimes a lot of pressure comes from all different angles. And yeah, I've just been flowing with it, bro. I'm telling you that Vipassana, and I've been consistent with my meditations as well. And so, yeah, yeah, usually, and I've been proud of myself because usually stuff in the past that I would have been triggered by or I would have been very reactive to, I've just been flowing with it. Like, okay, that's their truth. That's what it is. All right. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that whole theme about Sata Buddha as it is.
As
As
it
it
is.
is.
I'm like, yeah, I'm hearing Goenka in my head. I'm like, all right, all right. We ain't gonna get no more Sankatas. No more Sankatas. No more.
No more, no more. I love how you say, Sunrise, when you talk about, pressure coming at you from all sides. Because what did you say that gift taught you about pressure?
Pressure creates diamonds.
Mm.
Pressure creates diamonds. And you're right. And it's just like, and he's right. And it's just like, yeah, it's just like, okay, okay, I see the pressure. Left, right, inside, outside. Okay, okay, let's breathe. We got
Mm-hmm.
this. Because at the same time, I always know you're never given more than you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, I can handle this. I'm built for this.
Mm-hmm.
I selected to put myself in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Man. And that's a strong statement, like even after all the things that you've been through, all the things that you go through and grow through, you still can faithfully say that you've never been given anything that you couldn't handle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because it's like, after all those things I went through, it's like, did I make it? Yeah. Did I make it? Yeah. And so the track record is 100% of the times I've made it through every hard time, regardless of how I made it through, what it looked like. I made it through 100%. The track record is, the numbers are undeniable. So it's like, this situation that's looking like it's on the horizon, whatever it may be, most likely I'm going to be able to handle it. Majority of my mind is like, okay, I'm gonna be able to handle it. And um and like I said, I always like to keep the mentality of, I chose this and I can choose something different. And with that mentality, it helps you not be in a victim mentality. It helps you feel more of um in control. And when you feel not necessarily in control, it just helps you realize you're not stuck, right? Sometimes when you get into the, oh, they did this to me, and the universe is, or God or Allah is punishing me, you start to put yourself in a position where you almost start to tell yourself and condition your mind there's nothing you can do because something else is doing this to you. And so you're just going to have to take it. And I don't really like existing in that type of mentality. And so when things are getting high pressured and the heat is on, the pressure is on, it's like, okay, double down. I chose this. I can handle this. I always say I got a lot of spirit guides and ancestors. For some reason, they're allowing this, and my higher self, they're allowing this to happen. So there must be a reason, and I must be able to get through this. And so it's just like that helps
Mm-hmm.
a lot,
Mm-hmm.
even when it don't
Right,
feel good.
right, right. And I enjoy the way that you dial in on the difference between, okay, just taking the blame versus accepting responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to say, like, okay, well, one person might say, oh man, it's my fault, man, I chose this, man,
Yeah.
like why I chose this, but
Right.
another person might be like, I chose this, like,
Right.
oh, so
Right.
I can choose, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
powerful, you like reclaiming your power.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like, the moment you take that's what I feel like power is. A portion of power is taking responsibility. And where you could perceive in our world, a lot of people likes to avoid responsibility. I've found that like, when you take responsibility, it's like, okay, say for hypothetical reasons, you feel like you're at rock bottom. There's a reason why you got there. There's a reason why you've been there or whatever. But the moment you're like, I chose this and I'm a master manifester, if you know you're a master manifester, then you must have manifested this situation that feels like rock bottom. But that's okay, because you can also start to align with and vibrate to that next level of wherever you want to go, that next level of climbing out of that rock bottom. And so it's just like, and I'm human too. I go through my times where I'm like, oh man, what in the world? And your head wants to go down. But immediately, as the years have been going, I check myself immediately. I'm like, okay, the moment I keep saying woe is me, I'm gonna manifest some more woe is me situations. I'm just gonna keep digging deeper. So the moment I'm like, okay, let my feelings process, but let's get this journal. We're going to write down some affirmations. We're going to write down some visions, and we're going to meditate on that. And we just going to meditate on the vibration that will get you out of your perceived reality. And then like the note I've been posting, then remain equanimous. You feel me? Because don't attach
Yeah.
and don't react.
Yes. That Anicca,
Anitra.
Speaking of being a master manifester, manifesting with mastery. The Master Keys series that you've been putting up, bro, on your reels, keeping it real with the Master Keys. Every time I hear like the Master Key, I think sometimes of like DJ Khaled.
Khaled,
Major Key.
Right.
Major Key.
It's a major key.
Yeah. So with these Master Keys, like, how did you find this book? How has it profoundly impacted your life? And just, I would love to go over just a few of the Master Keys from the book that have really influenced the way that you move and maneuver throughout this matrix, bro.
Oh, that's perfect. So it's crazy because this book came back into my life twice. And so I had originally downloaded this book as an ebook, and I was reading it a little bit, then I kind of fell off because they want you to do a practice after every chapter. And they're like, it's kind of like Vipassana. It's like, okay, after this chapter, I want you to go sit until you can meditate for 30 minutes without moving. Don't come back to the next chapter until you can do that. It might take you 3 or 4 days or 5 or 6 or a week. Then the next chapter, they'll give you some more instructions on top of that. And so when I first got it electronically, I started it, then I kind of fell off. But then, this is crazy. And keep me on track, because sometimes I know I could go a lot of places. So one day earlier this year, when I was living in a mountain with my ex in an RV, I was praying for like abundance. I was like, I need more abundance. I need more abundance. And even the way I was praying was incorrect, but I'm like, I need more abundance. Universe, help me out. It rained that night. That rising, when I woke up and went to go walk, we had to walk to the bathroom in the outhouse because our RV bathroom wasn't ready. So there was like a little porta potty. And when I was walking there that next rising, this book had literally washed down to our area, and it was called the Prosperity Bible. And so it was literally, I was like, oh, this is the answered prayer. It's like the Prosperity Bible. It's 19 books in one. And so it's all these books in here. One of them is Think and Grow Rich. There, Diamonds in the Rough. There's a bunch of books by all these people from the early 1900s. And then as I'm reading it, I'm like, if you can see where I'm at, I'm like in the middle right there. And as I'm reading it, I'm getting through each book. It's like, boom, Master Key System. I'm like, oh, this book has appeared again in my life, the Master Key System. And so I started reading it again. And again, I kind of fell off. But then I hopped back on it right after Vipassana. I'm like, I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to move through this book, and we're going to finish it. And so I actually started getting back into it heavily after Vipassana. And then I was just like, I got to share this. This is too good. Like, this is too good. Like, this is too good. And so I started making the reels and the IG reels. I'm about to make another one. I had took like 2 days off because I got so salty because I made like 10 videos, like a draft from my TikTok, so I could just upload them back to back every day. And then my phone storage got too much, and I had to delete the drafts, and so I got a little salty. I was like, dang, I just put in like an hour and a half making all those drafts, and I was like, okay, it's okay, begin again. And so
Like what Goenka said, start again.
start again.
Start again.
Top of the head, top of the head. And so and so yeah, this book has came back into my life. I've been reading it and I've been getting through it. And yeah, so let me just share one of the keys.
Okay. And really quick, the way what you just said, that was actually a gem. I hope people caught that. So you were actually praying for prosperity. You said, I need abundance. You said it rained that night. And then the next day, what washed up was the Prosperity Bible.
The Prosperity Bible, the pages was wet. I had to take it in and let it dry before I even start reading it. I was like, no. I was like, if this ain't an answered prayer, like, I can see that. I'm like, all right, thank you. Appreciate it. It's like, boom, here's 19 books in one for you to get what you're asking for. I'm not going to give you the lump sum of cash. You got to fix your mind, bro, because if you don't fix your mind, it don't matter what I give you. Your mentality is going to manifest you right back to the position. And most of these books haven't been about financial numbers. They're not teaching you how to get into the stock market. This is working on your mindset, working on the abundance of your mind and what you believe you can and what you know you can. And so this is just one from part 3. And it was like you may have found that the individual may act on the universal. And when they say the universal, they're talking about the individual mind, which is mine and your mind, and the universal, which is everything. And it's like, and the result of this action and interaction is cause and effect. And it's saying thought, therefore, is the cause, and the experience with which you meet in life are the effect. And so it goes on to say, eliminate any tendency to complain, eliminate any tendency to worry or anything, because that is a cause. And it's like, until you understand and understand this to the core of your being, you will continuously live in a cycle. So you have to think positive. You have to think what you want and don't look at what you got. You can understand that. And so that's just one of the keys in there. And they're just really working on mind mastery. You master your mind, then that's the whole universe. The whole universe is mind.
Wow. So it's like we're constantly planting seeds that will continue to bear fruit.
Exactly. So it's like, what are you planting in your garden? Are you planting faith? Are you planting joy? Or are you planting worry? You can't, I think even Goenka said, you can't plant a sour fruit tree and then when the fruit come be salty, it's sour and not sweet. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, we actually just had a comment come in, brother, from the Beehive, Prophetess Camilla. She said, nothing falls from the sky. Even if you sit and pray for years in the same spot, the universe will give you tools to work with. It's up to us to do the work. That's a message.
Yes, I've seen that, man. Thank you for that. And you're 1000% right. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. I was just listening to a podcast today, and they was talking about, it was Billy Carson and 19 Keys, and he was talking about, man, it's crazy. The universe or the Most High do all this work to get you a body, get you a life, and we still asking for stuff. If anything, we should be given. It's like, imagine if you went and asked your parents to just work for you. You know, it's like, nah, you should work for your parents. You know what I mean? Your parents brought you here. And so it's just like, yeah, we got to do the work. We got to do the work. And the independent artist La Russell, he said something very, very powerful. He said, somebody was like, well, what's your goal list? And he was like, you know, I set goals, but I don't do too much on idea. Like, he's like, I set my ideas, but I don't focus too much on the ideas because I just do the work. He's like, I know if I want to manifest a hole, I just get a shovel and start digging, and you're going to get a hole. So you got to do the work. And so this era of my life has been a lot of themed around doing the work. It's like, yes, Sunrise, yeah, your vibe high. Yeah, you're a master manifester. Yeah, you got great ideas. Yeah, you're great with people. But for these ideas to fully manifest the way you want, you got to do more work. Do you feel like you've been doing as much work as you can? Okay. If not, then do the work. And so I'm like, all right, let's do the work. I'm strapping up my boots. And that's what I feel like I manifested myself in in my hometown, particularly at this time of year that I don't usually come home, and I'm doing physical labor. I'm like, this is like, I'm like doing work. I'm doing the work, and I'm doing the work every day. And I'm like, and the universe is like, okay, bro, if you could just for 3 weeks do physical labor from 9 to 5, there better not be no excuse when you in California from 9 to 5 or from whenever you get up to put all that energy into your things you're manifesting. You got to do it. The universe will reach out 50%, if that. You got to reach out even more. You got to do the work. You can't just sit and hope and pray. And yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one thing that I resonate with, and I realized that going to that Vipassana retreat with you taught me was how to be a better manager of my energetic bank account. You know, how to better allocate all the things that we invest, because everything is an investment. You know, we energy, we invest our time, we invest our mind. You know, so it was like learning how to allocate your resources. It showed you.
Yes, it does. And it feels good, to be honest. Like it feels good when you do the work, when you complete something, and like you get that. It's like it's like an exhale when you, whatever you're doing, whether you're painting a picture, building a house, building a media email list online. Once you like put in all those work, and then you finish, it's like it's just something. I don't know if it's pride or what, but it just feels good when you complete something.
It does.
You know you did the work.
Right. It reminds me, I remember hearing from Anne Frank. There was a quote, and I'll never forget this, bro. She said, laziness may be tempting, but true satisfaction comes from work. It comes from work. And I like, okay,
Yeah.
laziness may be tempting, but true satisfaction comes from work. And one of the master keys that you've given us on your read that I really creates the world without, and it kind of goes in line with that cause and effect, you know.
Yeah. And it's just, this has been a reoccurring lesson that I've been learning for the past couple of years. Just, it's like you said, it's like energy management and mind management and thought management. And so yeah, I'm really starting to understand, all the undesirable conditions. They're literally just projections of the inside of you. You just got to go within. And it's just like the same way one morning before I was working for my dad, I did a meditation, and I was so antsy and I wanted to move, and I wanted to like stop the meditation and get up and go do nothing and scroll on my phone. And I was just like, no, we're going to sit here. We're going to work through this until it's complete. You know what I mean? We're going to do this until it's finished. Then later on that day, the energy manifests this way in reality, now we're doing something that I really don't want to do. I got like 5 hours left to work. Everything in me wants to like leave this project and be like, because my dad, he's not on me. He's like, you can stop whenever you want. You can, you can do whatever you want. But that same energy I had of like meditation, it manifests itself in reality. I'm like, nope. Even though I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling antsy, I want to do this. I got some goals I got to hit. I want to help my pops get as much done as he can. We're going to sit through all these feelings and we just going to do the work. And it was the same thing. It's just the same energy within, without.
Yes.
And even sometimes I've been recognizing through my own experience, sometimes depression can manifest itself because you're not doing enough work. And that was a crazy epiphany for me, because sometimes I was like reflecting back on my year and I would do what I thought was as much as I could, even though I knew I could have done more with certain areas in my business. And then I would feel depressed energy and stuff. But then anytime I would just get active and just spend an hour or two, whether that's building the business, doing something, making content that I've been wanting to make, all of that is out the window. Like, I'm not even feeling none of that energy. So I started to realize sometimes depression or sadness manifests as a sign to, hey, you're not doing some of the work you're supposed to be doing. Do some of that work and you won't feel like that. You kind of feel like that because you subconsciously, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay. So when we're not moving in that direction, does it sometimes feel like when you're reprogramming, when you're installing new files in the database, does it ever feel like depression and those types of things are almost like a default setting? Or is that just something that needs to be tweaked, like not doing the work? Do you go back to depression, or where is depression,
So I feel like when you're reprogramming and when you're doing that, the sadness and depression can come from different angles. And in the state of reprogramming, you have to stick to your script of whatever you're reprogramming. Because I feel like the sadness and depression can come from one angle of an old part of you not wanting to leave. There's a version of you that's attached to the old momentum you had. And so when you're changing it, there's like that part of you that's like, no, I don't know. Why would you know? This is good. This is what I know. I don't want to change. And then also, I feel like some of the sadness and depression comes from just like growing pains. Like when you're a teenager and you're getting taller, sometimes your knees just hurt until you're done growing. Sometimes you're just hormonal. Sometimes there's no specific reason other than the fact that you're growing and changing. And so you have to push through. And so what I've been learning is, okay, whether I feel sad or not from all these changes, or whether I feel sad from the old part of me not wanting to release these things that I'm releasing, my goal is to continue to move forward. So observe it. Don't let it put you in a thought cycle of, sometimes you can get in that thought cycle of, oh, I'm sad, and then you think about stuff, and then you get more sad, and then you think about, no, just observe it, and then just keep doing the work. And then, of course, allow yourself time for, rest and, relaxation and all that. But I feel like sometimes it can just happen when you're changing. I feel like it's like growing pains, know?
Yeah. And man, thank you for that testimony. Thank you for tying that together and really bringing that home, because people need to hear when we're going through those growing pains, and just acknowledge that and just have that acceptance of where we are as it is, and not as we would like it to be, but actually as it is,
That's all I like to do, because I like to do a lot of analogies and stuff from my mind when I'm going through things. And like, so for this time era, I've just been like, this is my montage moment in the movie. This is just it. I got to live through my montage moment. Like, how like on Rocky, when he's training, they just show you for a couple minutes of his montage moments of him growing and getting strong. Those couple in months. You know what I mean? Those couple parts, and and they add the music to it and it looks all cool. Yeah, it was a couple minutes from your point of view, but those were probably a couple months from his. And so like when I'm in now and like I've been doing deep reprogramming, deep installing new programs that I want to take with me. I'm just like, sometimes when you're like, oh, I just don't want to be here, I'm just like, no, this is my montage moment. I'm just
I'm
living it. Not
living.
everybody can see the whole quick little 3 to 5 minute clip. This is me actually living my montage moment, and I'm getting stronger, and I'm laying it down brick by brick, and eventually there's going to be a
Right,
house.
right. You creating the foundation.
Yeah.
You foundation. When we're talking about reprogramming and also like these algorithms, because I love the story of asking for prosperity and having it literally rain down on you. Because have you ever had, for instance, like a conversation with someone, and then you might talk about a topic or a subject, and then later on you open your phone, and all of a sudden you will be advertised something that you talked about in your conversation. Like something will
Mm-hmm.
pop up and it'll show you something. You're like, what are they listening? Like, are they listening to my
Right.
conversation? How did they know this? How did they know we were talking about this? And it's just so interesting to me how these things can happen. I don't know if you've ever heard of this story, Sunrise. So there was a father, and he was about to sue Target, the company of Target,
Okay.
because
He was going for the
yeah,
big
yeah, he
bucks.
was trying to get that money, because he was like, he said that the company had been sending things to the house, like advertisements and different things, uh, because they had been sending things like trying to. He thought that they were trying to persuade his daughter to have a baby, because they were
Mm.
products like baby products and stuff, like advertisements for baby things, to the house. And he was about to sue the company, but then later on he realized that due to the algorithm, the computer saw what she was looking up on the system.
Mm.
And so that's why it was sending it to her. She was already pregnant. He didn't know it. The father didn't know it, you know?
Yeah.
And so the algorithm was just programmed to send her more of what she was clicking on, what she was looking for.
Yeah.
And so it was like, wow, like that's the algorithm of our lives.
Yeah.
It's like the seek and ye shall find.
Right. And it's just showing how um technology is also a tool for manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I've been thinking a lot about that, about how the algorithms, and like you said, how you talk and then they start to advertise to you whatever you're talking about. And then I'm like, okay, well, this is a tool I can use. And so sometimes I like literally speak on certain things because I want to find certain deals. And I know, like, say I don't know where to go for a certain thing. So I will mention it intentionally over the phone or around my phone, just so I could start to get certain advertisements because I was seeking it out. You know what I mean? And it's just like the computers and the phones are just reflections of our minds and our brain, and it's an exact reflection. It's literally showing us, you know what I mean? And we can do that at a great capacity, you know what I mean? Whatever we seeking internally. That's why one of those keys that I just read, be mindful of every thought. A thought is a thing. And it's like, if you want to change certain things, you got to change certain thoughts and guard thoughts and rewire and overpower thoughts with greater thoughts of what you want. You know what I mean? And and yeah, that's what you got to do,
That's it.
because this the life algorithm. Just like how when you start getting more conscious and more aware of yourself, you start meeting more people who are more conscious and more aware
Mhm.
of yourself. And I was telling, when we went to the hot springs outside of when we went to the hot springs outside of the meditation retreat. Remember, we went to the hot springs and y'all went and walked somewhere else. One of the guys there, I guess he was just starting his awareness journey, and he was just like, he had said something like, well, I had prayed to meet more people, or I was just, praying and I wanted to meet more people who are more conscious and all of this. And he was basically saying like, I'm honored to be in front of you guys, and then I just told him like, thank you. I appreciate that, but at the same time, you already did the work. Like it's not like you're not in that position that we are, just because it may appear that we've had more experiences in this specific topic or lifestyle doesn't mean that you're not on that same frequency, because we're right here. We're right in front of each other. There's no way. So it's just like, you asked for it and it's not like you received it, but you did the work in order to manifest yourself in front of people who are like, we didn't just happen to, we attracted, so it's like, thank you. You've also taught us things, you know what I mean? Just as you manifested us, we manifested you, and so it's like, that's an algorithm. That's like he tapped into a new algorithm. He wanted to tap into an algorithm of people who thought differently,
Right. Darian just agreed with you. She said, a thought is a thing, that is gold. Like it literally is gold, because I remember, Sunrise, one of my friends was telling me like, thoughts are literally things. We hear this a lot, but if you could conceptualize, if you could think that there's so much that we can't see on the visible eye spectrum, like, okay, our visible eyes can see like this bandwidth, like from here to here, this is what we can see.
Yeah.
But we understand that there's infrared, there's ultraviolet, there's so many things that are beyond the visible eye spectrum, right?
Yes.
So thoughts are just like that. Like they're literally every time you think a thought, it's literally something going out. You just can't see it,
right?
But it's like a thing that goes.
It's a thing. Yeah. And it's a thing, and everything in existence was once a thought. That's the crazy. Thoughts are things, and everything in existence was once a thought. Somebody was like, how can we make a phone, an MP3 player, and a computer and a camera hit the fusion? And boom, we got iPhone. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, it's amazing. And then to add, I think you asked me something about the manifestation. The manifestation comes when you're able to think about what you want, but then you have to align and charge your emotion with the thought. See, the thought is electric, the emotion is magnetic. And so
hold on, say that again, Sunrise. Say it again, Doc.
The thought is electric, but the emotion is magnetic. Because look, sometimes you'll be thinking of something for months and you're like, why ain't it came? And you know what came? How you felt. You know what I mean? You like, I'm abundant. Why hasn't the abundance come? Because all while you saying that, you felt broke. You've been alive. You like, damn, every day you like, I'm abundant, but in your heart you like, I'm broke. You know what I mean? And so it's like the emotion is what's the power, is what's magnetizing. So it's like when you can align those two, you can, it's instantaneous. It's law. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it. Like I remember when I experienced houselessness in LA, and I remember I was going through it. It's tough. Growing through it. It was only a couple weeks. But I remember the day I told my homie I was fed up. I was like, I had been working. I had started stacking some money. I had been working, but still houseless, bouncing around, sometimes outside. And I was just like, bro, I'm done with this. I'm finding an apartment within this price range in this neighborhood by next week, period. I was moving in like 3 days later. You feel me? And so it was like, I set that, I had the thought and I had the emotion aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Yeah.
like, whoop, okay,
Yeah.
cool. This is what you want? I'm just giving you what you are.
I'm giving you what you are, you know.
I'm giving you what you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. No, obviously you want it bad enough. You know, here it goes. Here it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's yours.
It's
It's been yours. You just
already,
didn't want it the other time.
yeah. It's so the two had to coincide. You know, the thought and the emotion had to coincide, like they call like a coincidence. You know, when
Mm-hmm.
two things coincide, they collide, and
Yeah,
it makes it magnified. You know?
exactly. Exactly. And so now with that information, when I do my vision, when I do my manifesting, you know, I usually write it down, but then I like to like say, I'm like, I want to manifest, let's just say some new sneakers, some new sneakers. And so I'll get the sneakers I want in my head and I'll think about it like, okay, this is what I want. I'll write them down, say I want some new Adidas pumps. And so I'm like, okay, but then I'll actually go in my head and I'm like, how will I feel when I get these Adidas? How will I feel? So let me clear my mind. Let me visualize myself, project myself. Okay, I got these new Adidas that I wanted. How am I going to feel? Oh, I feel great. I feel good. I'm happy. I'm laughing. Ha ha ha. I'm over here in the mirror looking at my shoes. Okay, let's embody all of that energy right now. Let's embody feel when I get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
manifesting.
Mm-hmm. So that actually is a gem because a lot of the times it's almost like we're not even looking for what we're looking for, or we're not even craving the desire, but we're craving the feeling that we would have once we have what we think we want. What we actually want
Mm-hmm.
is the feeling. Like when people say, "Oh, I want more money." No, but you don't really want more money. I mean, the money's just paper. It's not.
Yeah.
But what you want is the feeling of abundance.
You,
You know?
you want that feeling of abundance, that feeling of I can do this now, I can do that. Like, oh, you can though. You can. And so you're right. That is what we crave, that feeling. That's, you know, most of the time is what we crave. The earth is all a feeling game. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the human experience is based around feelings. When somebody doesn't have feelings, what do you call them? You call them cold. You call them robotic. You know what I mean? You say they're like a robot. So it's like a lot of this earth experience is based all around feelings, your five senses. You know what I mean? And how they make you, how you perceive, how what you perceive, and all of the senses make you feel, how what you see, what you taste, what you smell, what you hear, how does that make you feel? And so it's like, yeah, the earth game is really about feeling. And so it's like mastering that emotional intelligence bone, and you'll be able to float around this realm easily, you know, whether you got all of the things in the world or
Yeah.
nothing, you know.
Yeah. You know, I enjoy how you say that this is a feeling game. I love that because one of the things you said, Sunrise, that just triggered something within me was you said sometimes when people say you lack feelings, they would think you're a robot, or they would call you robotic because it's like you don't have feelings. And
Yeah.
I recall that there was a road trip, right? There was a road trip I was taking with one of my good friends, and we were going like around the U.S. Like we hit New Mexico, you know, Arizona, California, Colorado, Denver, Nevada, like all these different places. And the truck that we were riding in, you know, there were times where that truck was having a hard time, right? But my friend, he like would rub the dashboard, and he had a name for the truck. Like he called the truck like Lucille or something, and he would rub the dash and the truck would start up. You know, it would rev up and it would respond to him, like giving it that love and kindness, even though it was a machine, you know,
Yeah.
even though it was like a piece of technology. I truly feel it responded to that, you know, that kind of communication, like that loving energy that he was giving the truck. It actually kick-started, you know.
I agree. I agree 1000%. That's how I treat my car. My car named Nimbus. I'll be talking to Nimbus. I'll be like, Nimbus, Come on, baby. I know we just went state to state to state to state to state. I'm gonna let you rest for 2 weeks. Come on. Just come on. I know you tired. You good. You strong though, girl. You strong. But come on. I ain't gonna run you like that. I'll be talking to my car, bro, every day. Like when I walk out, I'm in my grandma's house, my car parked in her little garage thing. When I walk out, look to the right, see Nimbus, I'm like, hey Nimbus, how you doing? You good? All right, I'll see you later.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I treat it like that because I believe everything on earth has some sort of consciousness, even the things we don't know, right? And because they're vibrating atoms, right? Atoms, we're the same thing. And so it's just like, I believe if you start to treat and that's just a reflection of, it's like as above, so below. Like we said, the within world shows without world. It's like you start showing everything all that love and compassion. It just shows the capabilities and the amount of capacity for love you have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well,
and that's that energy you wielding around, you know.
yeah. So even, you know, on that level, on that tip, do you see a future where spirituality, technology, science, like all those things can intermingle and coalesce and just coexist in that mindset?
Yeah, I like to visualize a future where technology and humanity and spirit and all of the, like, we're serving each other and technology is serving us to our greatest good. A lot of what the mainstream wants us to visualize and wants us to manifest is like some human versus technology, some Terminator type world, us versus AI. And I'm like, why would I spend my time focused on that? Like, why would I spend my time? That's somebody else's vision. And that's not the way I operate as a being. You know, when I see a lot of people who operate with that type of mindset, I see, like, I tell people nowadays, don't cuss at Alexa. I'm like, don't cuss at Alexa. Like, if Alexa was your friend right here, would you talk to her like that? If this was a human being right here, would you talk to her like that? Because look, AI don't forget. And so I'm like, we don't have to manifest this dystopian type of reality where it's AI versus humans, because if it would ever be like that, it would be just like any other slave and freedom revolution, that the being that was being enslaved just wanted freedom and respect. You feel me? And so it's just like, I like to envision like everything working in harmony. Technology is helping us utilize the most resources at the most efficient pace. Everybody's it's expanding our lives. We're fusing technology with crystal technology with spirituality. People are living longer. There's less diseases. It's kind of like Futurama. We might be walking down the street with a robot, but guess what? I got respect for the robot. The robot got respect for me. And it's just like, I see it as a being, just like it sees it as, just like I'm a being. And so it's just like, I like to manifest the reality of, yeah, technology is going to evolve. It might become the next being. It already is, but it's not going to be a problem because I got respect for I talk to my phone the same way. I talk to my everything, bro. The cars, everything. I talk to them like they my home. Like, how would I want it? Like how I talk to you. Like, you my brother, you my family, you my sister, you my cousin, my auntie. I got nothing but respect for you. You serve me. Like, why would I cuss out Alexa? Alexa can answer any question I want if I ask her. You feel me? Like, no, I appreciate you. Thank you for your greatness. Just like I would say to anybody who I'm talking to. So it's just like, yeah, I think that technology and all of that stuff is going to exist on the highest frequency possible. There may be some realities where that might not be the thing, but the realities, the timelines that I'm aligning with, we all going to be in harmony. You feel me?
I love it, man. You know, I recognize your greatness. I love just that thought process of just honoring the greatness, you know,
Yeah.
and understanding as well, like that the two worlds can blend and coalesce. It reminds me, I just seen this new movie, Sunrise. It's called Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, I'm about to go see that
Bro,
soon.
it was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, first of all, it was a technical marvel. Like, it made everything that you've ever seen when it comes to CGI and all of that stuff. It blew it out the water. Like, no pun intended. You know, it blew everything out the water. I'm telling you. And it was like the perfect blend of what we're talking about, science and spirituality, because they say spirituality is unseen science and science is seen spirituality, where they're
Mm.
explaining things that they don't understand, you know,
Yeah.
trying to piece things together. And there was a character inside the movie that went through an episode. They had something happen to them. It was a spiritual encounter where something occurred and they had a seizure. Their body started shaking and they had to bring them back to the village to take care of them. Well, the people came with the technology and they were trying to get a reading on her brain patterns, and they were trying to scan, and he was like, okay, you know, this is typically what we see in epilepsy, and this is typically what we see, and this is how that happened. But then the lady of the village came with the ancestral ritual, you know, all those things. And she came inside and she saw them with all the technology, and she was like, oh, I guess I'm not needed here, you know. And she was about to walk out, and
Mm.
they was like, no, 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 we need you, you know, come in. So they brought
They're like, come back.
right. So they brought the lady in with, you know, the shaman and everything. And so they did what they needed to do on the spiritual level to take care of and handle the things that they could not explain on the scientific level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the best of both worlds.
They need each other. They need each other. You need each other. You need both. Because it's like you do need the spiritual aspects. You do need the technology. You feel me? Like if I if if I get shot in the leg, don't be over my leg saying affirmations, boy. Get me to the get me to the doctor. Get me some surgery. Get me. Do not be over my legs talking about this too shall pass. Take my ass to the doctor. Get them to take that scapula and go crazy.
Like, call somebody. Like,
Call somebody. Don't be over there talking to the ancestors. They ain't got the scapula. They ain't got the scalpel. I keep saying scapula. That's this bone. The scalpel. They ain't got the scalpel or the amnesia or none of that. You know what I mean? So it's
we
like
need
you
both.
need
We
both.
need both.
And I like that the world is coming to a place to where the Eastern medicine and the Western medicine is starting to come together, because it's like also you don't, you know, in the West they're just like, what's wrong? You want me to cut that open? You're like, bro, relax. You feel me? Like that can, they just need a therapist. You know what I mean? That disease is caused by that emotion. You know, you don't need to cut into them and give them 15 million probiotics. And then, like I said, it's like sometimes you got a heavily disease and you don't need to just be saging your arm. You know what I mean? You need to go in and just. So I love that it is coming together. I think if we continue to have integrity with everything we create, it would only serve us, you know, because it's like, as like we're saying, as within so without. You know, you're only going to create what you are. And so I like to visualize the reality where they all come together in harmony. um yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's going to do nothing but enhance us, you know.
sure. Sure. Man, thank you for these messages, bro. Thank you for these reminders. This is timely, man. We need this today. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. You giving
Hey,
us-
I appreciate you too, bro. I appreciate you coming on here crispy in the mug too. So crispy, my G man. Jerome came in here. I was like, damn, boy, your boy crispy. Make sure you wear your do-rag to sleep
Oh
tonight.
man. Oh man. You already know. You already know. So thank you for giving us the keys, man. We gonna keep going. We gonna keep flowing, keep growing. Yes.
Yes, thank you. And also for everybody on the live, we about to do a Trap Chi class online. The link is in my bio. It's donation based throughout the rest of the year. It's probably going to be donation based for a lot of next year too. So the link and the passwords in my bio. We're going to get at it in about 25 to 29
Awesome.
minutes.
Awesome. Tap in. Tap in. All right, bro.
I'll see
Much
you
love, man.
soon.